I had a very tough decision to make this week when it came to which movie I was going to see. Was I going to see a brand new film, a film that had caught my interest, or was I going to see a film that I knew that I was already in love with, It Chapter 2, and see it for the third time? Hi, I'm Lenny, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the film The Goldfinch. The film is based off the Pulitzer Prize-winning book. This drama runs 2 hours and 29 minutes, and it's rated R. During a rainy day in New York, Theo Decker and his mother decide to seek shelter within the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Unfortunately, on the day of their visit, there is a bombing that takes place within the museum, and Theo Decker's mother is killed during this tragic act. Theo is then taken in by an Upper East Side wealthy family, and from there on, his life begins this spiraling journey centered around a piece of legendary art known as the Goldfinch. So besides being based on an award-winning book, this film has an A-list cast, stellar cast. The actors in this film are phenomenal. Amazing character actors in this film. The acting is top of the line, top shelf. Oakes Fegley plays young Theo, Ansel Elgort plays adult Theo, and you have Nicole Kidman, Jeffrey Wright, and Sarah Paulson in this film, along with Luke Wilson and Finn Wolfhard. I did not read the book The Goldfinch. I wasn't actually aware of it. If I did hear about it, it might have slipped out of my mind, so I never read the book. So I had no frame of comparison to compare the movie to the book and see what the film left out, see what it incorporated, see what it changed. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I got to go into this movie with fresh eyes, unaware of where the story was taking me. I know that I was very brought in by the trailers that were shown, and I found this to be an interesting movie that I wanted to put on my list. The movie does jump around in its presentation and its storytelling. It's a non-linear film. We do have moments of adult Theo discussing and interacting and having some dialogue, and then we'll have a flashback to the past where the story will pick up with young Theo, and it will jump back and forth through time like that. I did mention that the film is 2 hours and 29 minutes, and it did keep me intrigued. It kept me intrigued, it kept me interested, it kept me engaged. But with that being said, I still felt like the movie could have been trimmed down in some areas. 2:29, it did feel like it ran a bit long. Again, not that my attention wandered, not that I wasn't interested. I was fully committed to the ride of the film and wanted to see what happened. I was very interested in the journey of young Theo and adult Theo to see what takes place in his life, but I did feel that the film ran a little bit long in certain areas. Without reading the book, without having the reference, I don't know what could have been trimmed out that wasn't essential to the story. But from a movie perspective, I did feel like there were certain things that became kind of redundant that could have been trimmed down a little bit in time, at least making this a 2-hour movie or less. Something else that I found interesting about the film, this is not a spoiler, character aboard sees that Theo, young Theo, is reading one of the Harry Potter books, and from then on begins to call him Potter. Now, with the story within the Goldfinch here, I don't know if this was random or if this was placed in here on purpose, the analogy between Harry Potter and Theo. Take the magic element of it out of the story, and there's a lot of similarities dealing with tragedy and loss between Harry Potter and Theo Decker. Now, I found this very interesting. Again, I don't know if it was random or if it was placed in the film or in the book on purpose, but it is something that I caught. I found it to be an interesting analogy, and there are similarities between the characters, these two literary characters. If I was to rate The Goldfinch on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest score that I could possibly give it and 10 being the ultimate score that I could give it, I would give The Goldfinch a 7. I found it to be an intriguing film. I found it to be an interesting film. And to be truthful, I didn't actually find it to be the film that I thought it was going to be in my mind. That doesn't take away from it being a good film and a well-acted film. As always, I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for lending me your ears and letting me talk to you about these films that I'm passionate about. thank you for that. As always, be safe, be careful, and I'll talk to you soon.